Welcome to the final episode in this season of Inward Bound for Mindful Living. I'm Shavin Bandadnaika, and as always, I'm joined by Mr. Deepal Surarachi as well. For the past 3 months, we've done quite a bit in terms of this program, and we felt that today, being the finale, the final episode, that it would be a good chance, since we are coming towards the end of the year as well, much like all of us reflect on the year that has passed, that we should reflect on what we've learned as well. So, Mr. Surarachi, how should we begin and how should we end the year?
You begin from now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it was very satisfying when you look back. It has been a journey for ourselves as well, as much as to you, if you have been following most of the programs on a regular basis. We first established the case for mindfulness. We live in a life where we do things mechanically, and we sometimes don't know what we are doing, and we realize what we did sometime much later.
True.
And sometimes you realize you are about to do something and halfway through you realize. Now this simple ability to become aware, we took away and develop it as a skill. That is the skill of mindfulness, to be able to be aware of what's happening. Actually, if you really look at the, somebody has once said, imagine your mind as a kind of a plane with so many different spots. Some are happy, some are angry, some are jealous, some are curious, and all these things. And imagine that there's a drone which can go over it and stop at any particular point, and then you look at it. So awareness is this ability to zoom in and see what's happening. So we started trying to understand this whole concept of mindfulness from that perspective. Ability to become aware of what happens right now without getting involved. We had a number of episodes discussing some of our mind's way of habitual way of behaving. One of the things is that we remember wanting to get involved. And one of the things I kept saying is our mind is like a meeting without a chairperson or an agenda.
Absolutely.
Anything that props up,
it becomes priority.
It becomes priority.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You are the most interesting. You have paid a very high price, and you have been in the front seat of a major evening performance, and suddenly you think of something that has happened in the office which is trivial but which can have a significant implication.
And that's the beauty of the mind as well, as we discuss quite often. We can be physically in one place, but our mind goes traveling all over the world.
Exactly. So then we looked at, actually, does the mind really travel, or what really happens is various things pop up. And when they pop up, we get involved.
Yes.
And in this involvement, we tend to own things more than necessary.
Yeah.
Not even, good things, when you own, we realize that we have this habit of recall and replay.
Yeah.
Pleasant things, okay. But even unpleasant things and the things that make you unhappy, we put through the same program.
Yes.
And what we said was, mindfulness in a way helps you reprogram your mind to work on a new mind operating system rather than this reactive, repetitive mind. So what we said was, if you can become aware, then you can choose your responses rather than reacting habitually.
Yeah.
So in that you find there's this space. Then we discussed, how do we develop this skill? Like any other skill, the development of a skill takes time.
It takes practice.
Practice. And then we started by saying you can take very simple, mundane things that you do day to day at home, like brushing your teeth, sipping your cup of tea, eating, to walking.
And in the personal context, running. I think one of the first sessions we had also.
Running and walking. And what you try to do is you try to bring your attention, awareness to what you are doing right now. And once you keep on doing this over and over again, you learn the art of being here and now, not in the past, nor in the future. And when you do that, what happens is you begin to see things much clearer, because you are now looking at things with a slight distance. I remember you always brought this word like out of the body experience, which is very, very appropriate, I would say, because if you are looking at yourself without getting involved, then the good, the bad, and the ugly can be seen without anybody telling.
True.
Mostly, unfortunately, people don't tell these things to your face, they tell to your back.
And the very fact that we are unable to see ourselves in that way sort of tunnel visions us into this one sort of pinhole syndrome where we don't see what's happening to us or people around us.
Very much. And then we discussed how when you learn to become aware of what happens in your mind, you become much more attuned to becoming aware and begin to know the kind of emotions you are writing. When we are aware of our own emotions, we can feel the other person's emotions much easier.
We grow empathy towards them, yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. So then our relationships becomes much more beautiful.
True.
And then we link this up to our day-to-day practices of at work, at home, how by being mindful you can have a much more satisfying and fulfilling experience in whatever you do. For example, we said when you are eating, if you are mindful, you will experience all the tastes. Even in the most insipid kind of food, you will find there's interesting...
and indirectly you will tend to enjoy more as well.
Exactly.
Since you value and you appreciate it.
Yeah. And then we looked at the other important thing what happens with mindfulness is you learn to bring your mind to the present moment without going away. And as a result, you will see things much clearer right now. And invariably what happens is you discover yourself in the process, which we call insights.
Yes.
And then you become your own coach, so to say, in your journey of progress. Because as human beings, we have this innate ability to change the way we are, which are very difficult for any other animal to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what differentiates us from many
exactly.
other species.
So if you want to progress in life, becoming aware is a very, very useful skill. And there's a lot of scientific research that has gone in the recent past, in the last 5 to 10 years, in the West especially, to see how this affects your brain, this affects your health, this affects your stress and things like that. So although this has come from Buddhism originally, we try to discuss this more from a secular point of view without...
rather than going to a religious aspect.
Yeah, but when you look at it, you don't need a belief system to experience the benefit of this beautiful practice.
Much like many of the other sessions we've had, Mr. Suryachi, there's a lot that we must cover even in this final episode. But right now we must take a very quick break. We'll be right back.